Horrifying video this morning of a traffic stop in Ohio. 2 officers were wounded in this shootout. Both survived. This happened back in March, but investigators just released the video. They say the gunman unloaded 37 rounds from an AK-47, but officers fired back and eventually killed him.
He got out of that car to kill my officers. That's his intent. However, the officers got the better of him.
One officer is already back on the job after being shot in the leg. His partner is still recovering, though, from 2 surgeries.
And after that massive wildfire burning right now, an hour outside of L.A., heavy smoke still fills the air, and the ground black with burned trees and brush. At least 40 homes and other buildings have been damaged or destroyed. Firefighters say they're confident they'll get this spring fire contained by the end of today. Yesterday, several fire engines were sent home. People living in the area who had been evacuated were allowed to return.
A 2010 report by the American National Academies of Science
Susan McGinnis, KHOU 11 News.
The Pennsylvania mom who ran away from her family 11 years ago is now behind bars in Florida. Brenda Heiss turned herself into police on Friday. She was wanted for identity theft. Heiss was presumed dead, but she was actually living in Key West. Police booked her under her fake name, Kelsey Smith. Police aren't sure why she traveled to the other end of the state in North Florida to turn herself in.
She hasn't given us any indication of how she got here from the Keys, and also as her address on the booking sheet, she listed homeless. So it's a mystery how she got from here to there, or from there to here.
Police suspect she has a brother in that area.
That is the strangest story.
Yeah, she vanished in 2002 after dropping her then 8- and 12-year-old kids at school. Never seen since.
Yeah, her husband's been suspected of murder this whole time.
Right.
Wow, strange story. All right, back here home, 517. I think you're going to like today's forecast.
Yeah,
I got a feeling. I think you're going to love today. Well, it depends. If you like yesterday's forecast, you're going. Or what?
continue both on Earth and from space. Coming up on this special episode of How Do They Do It? Superstructures. How do they design and build skyscrapers?
Texas high school students might be excited to hear a bill to reduce the number of standardized tests is now one step closer to the governor's desk. The Texas Senate passed the bill yesterday. It drops the number of tests from 15 down to 5. The House passed a similar version in March. Both bills will need to be merged before a final vote. They are already at red lights, retail stores, and airports. Cameras watching you everywhere. And now your child's classroom could be next, specifically special education classes. Jason Whiteley tells us who's behind this push and why.
Are you having fun?
Terrence Rideau can't walk,
Let's look back.
can't talk,
See you next week.
and can neither feed nor clothe himself.
Nice and strong. There we go. Good job. You doing all right, buddy?
But he looks forward to Monday afternoon.
He had an adverse reaction to the DPT shot when he was 4 months. He was born perfectly normal. It was a vaccine that damaged his brain. You pick him up from school and they see.
What's more tragic is his experience with special education.
This thumb never quite.
Terrence has come home with broken thumbs, dislocated knees.
And he's the sweetest thing I've ever met.
And Brigitte Rideau says her son has even been sexually assaulted by a former teacher.
No child deserves it. But, abuse at school, that's cool, man. It's supposed to be the safe place.
Good night. Show the back and look up at the sky.
For 7 years, she has begged for cameras in the classroom to protect special ed students. That could soon become state law. The Texas Senate already approved a bill, and the House takes it up Tuesday.
If this bill passes, then Texas will become the first state in the country to require cameras in special education classrooms. Some groups have concerns about it, but there is no organized opposition to it.
This could possibly be a double-edged sword, but I think for the safety of the educators as well as the safety of the students, we would not oppose it.
That's a good job.
That's all Brigitte wants, is accountability, and to ensure school is a safe place for the most vulnerable kids,
Nice.
including her only child. Jason Whiteley, KHOU, 11 News.
Boy, the story's already generating some discussion on our Facebook page. Deborah writes, quote, cameras should have already been in special ed classrooms and should also be in every classroom to monitor our children and their safety.
Joe disagrees, writing, with school budgets being cut almost daily, just where are they supposed to get the funds for this? How about spending some more money on actual education and quality teachers? Well, you can share your thoughts on this hot topic right now.
It's midnight. Tom and his team arrive at the Empire State Building prepared for the hard.
Yeah, Granny, in this morning's Health-Wise, could your job be making you fat? Well, if you work in transportation, you're obese. To make Granny, in this morning's Health-Wise, could your job be making you fat? Well, if you work in transportation, the answer is yes. A new Gallup poll survey found 36% of bus drivers are obese, making that the most overweight occupation out of the 14 polled. Other jobs that may not be good for your waistline include manufacturing and production, installation and repair, and office work. Makes sense. On the lighter end of the scale were doctors, business owners, and teachers. Now, researchers say exercising fewer than 3 days a week and not eating healthy and depression also play a role in worker obesity. And new help for asthma sufferers. It's a procedure called bronchial thermoplasty, and doctors say it could mean the end of medication. Here's how it works. Doctors use radio frequencies to deliver cool heat. That's a little cooler than a cup of coffee. It's all to the smooth muscle in the airway. The heat thins out the muscle, meaning less airway restriction and fewer asthma symptoms. Okay, when it's time for dinner, it's so easy to pass through the drive-thru, right? Well, is it really all that hard to make dinner yourself?
I do feel better about trying to cook at home versus going out and getting it to go, because I know what I'm putting in it versus what the Mexican restaurant down the street.
Oh yeah, Mexican food is what's on the menu a little later this morning. We challenged this mom to see which would be quicker, a home-cooked meal or takeout. We'll compare not just the time, but the nutritional value and the cost as well. That's all coming up at 6:45. Ron and Lily.
Is there a taste test?
Yes,
Okay,
I have
good.
a little something for you guys.
Oh, then we're looking forward to it.
Great.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
The time I
With a host of transmitters, antennae, and cables that must be navigated around. The climb is a long, slow process, pushing the human.
Probably something you've never heard of before. A man running from deputies in Florida ran straight into the mouth of an alligator. An alligator.
Nice.
Deputies in Pinellas County say when they pulled over Brian Zuniga yesterday afternoon, he ran off and hid in a creek. A creek in Florida, of all places. A few hours later, police caught up with him at a nearby hospital where he was being treated for several gator bites.
Were you attacked by a gator? Tell us what happened.
Like, cool dude, I don't really know him or anything, but he's my neighbor. Don't want us to get eaten up by a gator.
Florida Fish and Wildlife officials want to find that gator that attacked Zuniga so it can be put down. But he is actually refusing to tell police where he was hiding.
They're going to put that gator down? They're not going to deputize that gator?
Right?
Down. All right.
Double
Okay,
whammy.
that's what you get for helping out the cops.
Yeah.
5:18 now. We had a rough night. We had a rough night, and we're not done yet.
We did have a rough night, and at our age throughout